Hello guys, this is Eagle and today we are going to have a look on the last open beta for Menu 2, the game that is expected to be officially released within a month from now. The beta covers lots of the game aspects and features which I will go through quickly to give you an idea of what you can expect from this game. Okay, let's get started. So I have mentioned before in the previous beta versions that the best thing that I basically love about Menu 2 is the introduction of the concept of front line. When your team meets the opponent team head-on, and the more you advance, the more you generate an area of influence. Something basically similar to Steel Division play style. The game actually feels like a combination of all the popular RTS games. It has the arcadish touch of Company of Heroes, but in a much better way. It also has the feeling of the original Menu 4, plus it offers new playstyle and features. However, before we move to the multiplayer, I recommend that you start with the tutorial missions. The game has 12 tutorial missions that covers lots of game details, starting with the camera control, tanks, infantry, air force, and artillery, you name it. Everything is there. One of the amazing things in the tutorial is that it does not only provide guidance, but you can actually watch a clip within the tutorial itself that explain how to rotate the turret, for example. Something is very neat, I would say. I have also noticed that the game also tried to reduce micromanagement as much as possible, which is something I really like. This becomes clear in the way you manage logistics and fortification buildings. For example, you don't need to manually refuel your tank now. However, once you bring a fuel truck nearby, the tank starts refueling automatically. And the same thing goes for the ammo. Something that reduces lots of boring and glitchy tasks that you can find in games like Gates of Hell, for example. There are also lots of defenses and fortifications that you can build, such as building walls, ditches, towers, bunkers, etc. The way this works in the multiplayer is that you need to attach a Pioneer Squadron to your division, which allow you to build fortifications inside the game. The medics also work in a similar way. So you can say that engineers and medics are now something like an off-map ability, which reduces the overall micromanagement of the game. Speaking of abilities, there are lots of abilities for each type of weapon that you can explore through training and also gameplay. You can also assume direct control of a unit in a first and third person mode, just like Call to Arms, which is something really cool. One of the super cool things that I noticed is that you can ride horses now, which opens lots of possibilities, especially in modding. So I can't really wait to see how the editor will look like in this game, especially that the devs have said before that the game will support modding just like the original Menu 4. This is really good news for people who like to make editor battles and cinematics like me. And speaking of cinematics, don't forget to check my cinematic battles playlist, which I will include in the description. So once you finish the training, you can play either the single player campaign or head directly to the multiplayer. The single player campaign has 3 missions currently on the beta. The interface of the multiplayer hasn't changed much from the previous beta. You can either play auto match or head to the lobby for a custom game. The auto match is obviously all about the frontline playstyle. The PvP provides less units to control but more players, up to 5 in each team, compared to the combined arms, which has less players but more units to control by one player. You have different regiments to choose from in the PvP, and you can customize every regiment based on your need, according to echelons or phases of deployment, which is again a concept loosely based on Steel Division gameplay style. One of the features that we have been missing also in previous games like Menu 4, Gates of Hell, and Call to Arms is actually that this game has a replay system, where you can watch your previous battles and maybe share them with your friends. So this is a new feature that we have been requesting a lot for other games like Menu 4 and Gates of Hell, and now we have it here in Menu 2. That was a quick overview, everyone, on what you can expect from Men of War 2. I will share some of the multiplayer games that I played recently in this beta, so stay tuned, and thanks for watching, and see you in future games.